that they were meant for sex.
He's talking about the bungee cords.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you you put those things against it, and then let the other you tie it on one side and let the other side go. That shit hurts. You let the girl that you mean business.
That's a little disgusting. I don't know.
I'm not recording.
Oh yeah.
No, we're absolutely recording right now. So welcome back.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's been a while. We are really just catching up because we haven't spoken to each other in this format for a while.
Purposely.
Yes, purposely. Kamal has a fresh cut. I can't get over it.
Yeah.
You've got the fade, it's high and tight. Beard is looking strong.
Striped shirt, light blue,
baby blue.
Have you been to a beach recently?
Cheeks on swole. I love everything about it.
Who's on your shirt?
Nobody, just stripes.
No,
who's on my shirt?
Yeah, who's the white man on your shirt?
Oh, I know who that is.
Charles Bukowski.
Did you wear that purposely?
It was the top shirt on my stack of clean shirts.
That's
purposely for what? What would be the purpose?
I don't know. Like, you wear something for the podcast. You wear something to,
greet us with.
Yeah. Using your platform.
Using my platform, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
water music. Come on. Is that the title? I don't know. I never read Charles Bukowski.
Bukowski's great. But no, not really intentional. I do think about what I put on, like as far as it being clean and usually black or dark colors.
Solid.
I would hope it being clean is like the bare minimum that you aim for. Is like
yeah, that's usually that's number one, clean.
Yeah. And then go in the color selection and coordinating.
Yeah, which is either black or gray.
Oh God.
And then
I read an old journal post that I wrote a long time ago about writing about a girl who basically dressed all in black in not tribute to me, but like she dressed all in black. She dressed all in black, and she told me specifically it was because of me. And I read that, and I was just like,
you had that kind of power over someone?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it too. It was like black, like leather skirt and stuff, and I was just like, I don't know.
Wait. So she wore all black all the time because of you? Like, were you dating?
No, we were dating, yeah, but it was just like some kind of like, I think it was like we went out for. Oh, that's right. It was for her birthday. We went out, and I was describing what she was wearing in the journal entry or the diary entry or whatever, and she was wearing all black, and she told me that day it was in
honor of, I
want to say solidarity because that's that's beyond my station. But she wore it. What am I thinking of here? Like she wore it just because I like.
Was it like a sexual thing? Was it like you think she's sexy?
It was. Whips were involved.
Bungee cords.
Things in the back like motorcycles. No, it was just it was funny to read.
Interesting. No one has ever done anything like that for me, I don't think. At least they never told me.
Yeah, you guys haven't dated people as stupid as I have.
That's probably true, though.
There's still time.
Yeah, there is still time. That's true. Salute.
What have you guys been doing? I know you're big on your move, Kamal. How's that going?
Yeah, what's
it's
have you constructed all your furniture?
Yeah, it's been all constructed. Finally being able to sit on my couch was amazing.
Oh, is it comfortable?
It's my couch, so
that's not a strong yes.
I've enjoyed it so far. I've only sat on it for like 15, 20 minutes. I went to the apartment to get the delivery, put everything together, kind of just sat on it, lied on it for a couple minutes to test it out, and then I was out of there to do other things for the day. So,
did you claim it as your own yet?
Not yet.
Like, did you fart on it?
Not yet. I've been lied naked on it or anything yet. So.
It's not yours. Then
I'm never going to your house.
I'm gonna
again.
go in. I'm gonna sabotage it.
Oh, it's.
Mike, no.
I haven't done that yet.
It could never be yours after that. Maybe in your apartment, but wait. So
That's
it's in your
disgusting.
apartment. Did you get like internet set up?
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even remember that part.
Yeah,
I
that was done actually like a couple of weeks ago. But like,
Oh
of
wait,
course,
yeah, I do remember that because you said
yeah.
that they couldn't use your modem or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
right.
so
Yeah,
I had to
I
go
was
through all
asking.
that and like order the router, and then I had to ship back the one that they provided. I swear, there's nothing comes.
So wait, you got your own?
What?
You got your own router and modem?
Yeah, because I already had the modem, and
Oh,
they see they deceived me. They lied and said that
Optimum?
yeah,
Wait, who do you have?
Optimum.
I think that's who I have too. Yeah, I have Optimum. So,
Me
which is
too.
why I was surprised when they said that what you had couldn't work because you did that because I told you I had to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, but
And
not only that, they told me like I even called them and was like, oh, so can I mix and match equipment between your guys and my own stuff? And they were like, yeah, sure. You just you provide the
we
modem.
don't give a fuck.
We'll provide the
What
router.
you do?
Then the day comes, the technician comes, and homeboy's like, oh, I have this dual combo router modem in one, and so we can't use yours because for one, there's no router, and then apparently they were like, oh, we lied. We don't allow you to mix and match. You either have to provide all your own or take all of ours. So I was
that's not
like,
true. That's not true.
I don't know. It's
I
They're
can
the
show you.
biggest scam. Biggest scam on the planet.
It's frustrating. It's just frustrating for me because like I feel responsible for you doing that.
I partially
But
blame you.
yeah, of course you do. But like I literally have that set up right now where it's one thing that they gave me and one thing that I provided, and they're both working totally fine. And when my technician came and set my shit up, there was no problem whatsoever.
Came in, set it up. Dab Kavan was like, "You need anything
Yes.
else, bro? No. All right. Have a good day."
Exactly.
I don't know.
Optimum is the biggest scam, man. Can I just say a funny story? I called them like this past week because I've been staying with my girlfriend and I wanted to see if I could just put it on hold, like put my service on hold. I don't want
Oh,
to get
because you're
rid
not
of
at
it.
your apartment.
Yeah, I'm not using it, and it costs like almost $70 a month. So I was just like, let me see if I could call and just put it on hold and tell them, hey, I still want to be a customer, but I don't want to use it right now. They don't have that. You have to. The minimum you could pay is like $15 a month, where you can still use their hotspots and whatever. And I'm just like, I pay for a cell phone plan. Like I don't need your hotspots. And then the guy was like, well, what if I upgrade your internet speed and I knock the price down $13 a month? And I was like, why didn't you do that in the first place? I was like, why am I paying more for less quality internet before? I was like, how is that a deal to me? If I wouldn't have called today, I would have never had that.
Wait, so his like you're asking I want like a moratorium on my service, and his idea was
What does
okay.
moratorium mean? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was very fancy.
My bad. Like I want like a pause on my
Yeah.
service, and
There we go.
his idea was wait, I can't do that. But what if I gave you more internet, but
What if I
made
gave
it slightly cheaper,
and you pay me less money?
slightly less? But eventually,
I have 200
Megabytes per second.
megabytes per second right now. So now they gave me 300, which is probably like small business speed.
Well, I don't know about
in
that.
a 400 square foot apartment.
You could have a fax machine and your computer at the same time. No
I
problem.
could rent my internet out to other people. Sublet my internet.
That's actually not a bad idea though.
It's not.
Imagine you had like a next door neighbor who was like close enough to access your Wi-Fi and be like, listen, float me $50 a month. You got it.
It only costs $50 a month. So I'm
right. You're breaking even at least.
45.
That's funny.
Nah, I'm never giving my neighbor anything. When I used to smoke, I was outside once and she walked by and gave me a nose up look. So she can go
Fuck that
fuck
bitch.
herself. Nah.
Was she old?
She wasn't old enough
Was she white?
to be a problem.
Definitely.
Yeah, what that? Yeah.
Come on, you've seen where he lives. You know she was white.
She was white.
Don't play this game. Don't be cute.
I just wanted to be open minded and not assume, but I had a strong feeling. Like
You don't need to be open minded here. That's why
there was one night in Cold Spring where there was a total of 2 black men in the entire city of Cold Spring, and we were the 2 black men.
we were those 2 black men.
Yes. The moment we left,
That was the
population of black people went to 0.
2 black guys in Cold Spring on a blackout. Right.
Yes, they probably thought we did it. Honestly,
probably.
Oh well, look at that! Look who just arrived. No wonder I have a blackout.
Like, so they do carry darkness wherever they
Yeah,
go.
seriously. All I remember from that night is just pure heat falling upon my body.
Yeah, it was hot.
it was really bad. I remember the mosquito bites when we went.
Yeah, the bugs. Yeah, that was just.
That was trash. It's crazy that we didn't die that night from it.
Was that in like June or July? Can't remember. Maybe it was August. Oh yeah,
I feel like it was more August.
because I moved in August.
Sounds about right.
Trash.
What else? What else is going on, fellas? You're moving. I'm helping you next week. Kevon, what's
I'm also
new in your
helping.
life? Oh yeah, you're.
So I have like a somewhat funny story. At work on what day is today? Saturday. This might have been on like Monday or Tuesday, maybe Tuesday. We're about to close. It's like maybe an hour until we close. I'm in the back doing like some paperwork or whatever, and someone calls me on the walkie and is like, "Hey, Kevon, like I need you to come out to the floor like ASAP, like real quick." And I'm like, "All right, somebody's stealing something, right?" Because I work in retail. Most of the time, when there's something going on the floor, and I get called, it's like someone's trying to steal. We need some bodies on the floor. Big black guy. You might be a little scarier than us. Like that's usually what
Never
it's
mind
about.
the fact that it's retail and like it shouldn't be anything that has to happen very quickly.
Right.
Like it should be.
Besides, like getting a size extra small for like a woman at the register.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's about to get angry. Got to do it right.
Shouldn't have to haul ass.
Right. So I literally run. Like I run from the office to the sales floor, and they told me to go to the fitting room. So I thought, like, all right, somebody's trying to steal the fitting room. And I'm getting my confidence up. I'm like, all right, I got to get my like big boss voice on.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I get to the floor, and my boss tells me there's a guy masturbating in the fitting room.
No. Oh man.
We need you to get him out.
They
So
asked you?
yeah, I was the only like, first of all, the person who was in the fitting room when he was masturbating was a woman. And she was obviously shaken up by like, because the guy was in the fitting room, the door was like half open, and he was like peering out of the fitting room, like staring at her. Obviously, like she was shaken, runs away, goes
Like
to
she
tell.
was shaken or like she was shaking? Like ing. Like from orgasm.
No, Michael, it was not consensual. She did not enjoy the experience.
Oh, okay.
She was shaken up.
Oh, so this was like a Louis C.K. situation without the permission.
She was not twerking. Yes, there was no permission here. Well, Louis C.K. had permission. Let's not,
Yeah, I said without the permission.
Without the permission, yes. It's not like Louis C.K. This is not gonna. The sound bites here are gonna be trash.
Isn't that the point?
Okay, so he's looking at her and he's jacking off, and she like drops everything and she runs and she goes to the other manager, and then the manager tells me to come out because she's a woman too. She doesn't want to go where a guy is masturbating, like, and not to say that women can't handle those situations, but she was like, I don't want to see that or deal with that. Not that I did either, but
yeah, I was gonna say, did you like? I'm in there.
I had previously told her that if anyone was ever masturbating, I was the guy for the job. No. So,
Your designated masturbation.
Masturbation removal specialist. That's like my secondary title.
Like I'm
MRS, the MRS squad.
So I come out. They tell me what's going on, and at that point I'm like, what? Like in a frenzy. I go into the fitting room and it doesn't seem like anyone's in there. They had told me the door was left half open, so I'm looking for a half open fitting room with a guy jacking off still. But apparently, after she ran away, he locked the door, and it just looked like a normal situation. So I knock on the door once I figure out which room he's in, and I'm like, "Sir, I need you to come out." He was the only person in the fitting room. They had told me that to begin with, so I was just like, "Okay, let me figure out which room it is."
You went to lift your sneaker up and you stuck to the floor.
No. I knock on the door.
This must be the room.
Imagine he just left the trail. So I don't think he came, if that helps at all. But
relevant information. I mean,
I knock on the door. I'm like, "Sir, I need you to gather your things. I need you to like get out of the fitting room." I don't know if he heard me or not, or if he was pretending to not hear me. He responded, but I couldn't really hear what he said. And I'm just like waiting outside the door for like 3 minutes. I knock again. I'm like, "Sir, I need you to get your things and we gotta go." So eventually he comes out.
I'm gonna let you finish.
No, he's still wearing like our shorts. Like he went in there to try clothes on. I was actually there when he was put in the fitting room, but obviously I didn't know he was gonna masturbate in front of me. So
he looked like a normal guy to me.
He did. There was a strong weed odor. So
I thought you were gonna say old stale milk.
No, I mean like.
Oh, so he was shaking and baking. Is that what you're saying?
Wow, that's really good. That's probably
tugging and connecting with the plug-in.
Okay, shaking and baking. So there was a smell of weed when he came in, and it's New York, like whatever, no one cares about that. Come in high if you want to. Like we've got people literally shooting up heroin across the street. That's another story. But this guy came in, he smelled like weed, and put him in the fitting room. It's customer service, whatever. So when he comes back out, the scent is even stronger. So we're like, was he smoking in the fitting room and literally possibly shaking and baking? Like, it was just a weird situation. He starts talking to me. He's clearly high. His eyes are like red. And we go back and forth. We basically start arguing, right? So he's like, "Why do I have to go? Who said something, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Listen, I need you to get out of here. Someone told me there was inappropriate behavior happening and I can't have you in here." And he's like, "Oh, wait, call the cops, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Listen, no one's calling the cops. And I just need you to leave. I'm asking you
to get out of jail card."
Right. Like, I'm asking you to get your shit and go. No one has said anything about the cops. I'm not telling you who said what or what they said about you. I'm just asking you to leave. We have the right to refuse service to anybody that comes in our store. You gotta go. After like that whole like 3-minute back and forth, he goes, I kind of have to stand up to show you. He gestures to like his inner thigh. And
yeah,
and it's like
stand up.
So he goes, "Look at this," right? like he just stops. He stops arguing with me, and he shows me his thigh, and he's like, "Look at this," and it's like a scratch. It looks like a scratch. Like you could tell, like there was some discoloration, like it was darker, and I'm like. Like I don't know.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know how to respond to it. And after that, I was like, "Sir, I need you to leave." He was like, "Okay." And then he just like got his stuff and he left. Well, he closed the door. He put his shorts or pants back on, and he left our stuff in the fitting room. And then he walked out.
Oh my God.
And that was just bizarre. The only thing that was really like the most confusing and like, yeah, confusing is the word, was when he was like, "Look at this," and he showed me his thigh because like there was no explanation for it.
It was like, look at this. Do you think this is cancer? This mole has changed dramatically in the last 6 months.
I wasn't sure what you were gonna say. If you were gonna say like it showed
like a garter belt,
or like the mess he made on himself, or like his like.
I don't know. I don't know what it meant.
Yeah, that's weird.
Look at this. Does it look like I'm done?
A part of me, so he was wearing jeans, right? During the conversation.
No. His jeans to
No. But like when he came in, when he came to the fitting room, he was wearing jeans. So I didn't, and he was a part of his thing was like, I really want to buy these shorts, and he said,
he's really passionate about his clothes.
So I was telling him like, I'm sorry, like you can't make a purchase right now. I need you to get like I was trying to get through to him like I just need you to go. Like whatever you say to me, I need you to leave. I didn't know if what I thought was maybe because he was wearing jeans, it was like irritating the sting on his thigh, and he was like, I need to get shorts so that this doesn't irritate me anymore. And that was the only connection I could have possibly made. But I don't know. It really like that's
irritating him that much if he spent that much. He spent an extra 45 minutes in the store,
yeah. He was in there for at least 30 minutes because I was leaving to go, like when I was headed towards the office to do what I have to do, I usually do that 2 hours before we close, right? They called me back at around like an hour before we close. So he was in there for a minute. And like the girl had forgotten about him, and she was like, "Sir, are you okay?" Like at some point, and he didn't answer. And then after that happened was when there was the incident.
Wow. All of this could have been solved. Can I just say, all of this could have been solved by clearer signage. He thought he was at he thought he was at the sperm bank.
I don't know if that's the situation.
He was.
You don't. I don't know what you get paid. You don't get paid enough.
I absolutely do not get paid enough.
I was just hoping that the story didn't end with you having to clean up his mess. I was like, oh God.
Him getting his mess on you.
I didn't. I did not. So I was very worried about that because, like I mentioned, he was wearing our shorts. So I ended up having to. I put gloves on, obviously, and like. I collected all the items that were in his fitting room, and I like damaged them out like through the register, and I threw them away, put them in a box, threw them away. But like I was like, if there is some shit in here, I need a raise. Like I have to write a letter to someone. Like I have to send a very serious email. I've cleaned up I've cleaned up human feces. I've cleaned up dog feces in those fitting rooms. Cum is where I draw the line. Like it's just you can't go past that. You don't do it. You don't do it much.
I mean, there's just no reason. There's no excuse for you to get semen in a store dressing room. There's just shit. Maybe there's a situation where that was warranted, but even shit like. But semen, nah. There's no way that you would get.
Oh boy.
I did not see that one coming, but that was the highlight. Oh, I see what I did there. But I didn't see that one coming. That was not on purpose.
You're correct. That was a good one.
Thank you.
I think I have, I guess, another story to add.
Here we go.
It was. What was it? Wednesday, I guess. It was
1960.
Wait. Yesterday was Friday. It was because Thursday it rained also, right? Yeah.
I don't even know.
These days blend together, man. I think it was like Thursday or something. I was like out and about, just picking up a few things, and I was taking the bus back home. And like it had started raining and stuff like that, so like it was coming down, I guess, pretty heavy at the moment. It wasn't yesterday. It was before the tropical storm. So I'm on the bus, and we're like coming into my neighborhood. we're like 3 blocks away from the stop I'm gonna get off. And so I'm standing. What's so funny?
There's just so many masturbation Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, did I just make one that I didn't realize?
Inadvertently, yeah. I mean, you just said you're waiting for the stop when you're gonna get off.
Oh God, Mike.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. But so I'm standing there, and like I hear like this voice behind me. I kind of have like headphones in, so I'm like I can like barely hear it, but like I hear someone talking to me, or like at least talking like at me, saying something to the effect of like, "Can you get out the way?" or something like that. And so I turn around, and there's this I don't know what's the word. I guess androgynous is the best way to describe it. It was a black individual. I couldn't tell. I'm saying individual because I could not tell.
Describe it better.
I couldn't tell if the individual was a man or a woman, to be honest. They had like braids, like short braids, but like
No,
and they were dressed in like a big like a long polo and like jeans, but like the voice didn't help and the face didn't help, so I couldn't. And they were like shaped like a rectangle, so I couldn't really tell. I couldn't really tell who like what. But that's
the voice was Pocahontas-esque, but they were shaped like a rhombus. I just love that you use shape. It's just so progressive of you. I love you.
But
okay, so what happened?
Yeah, just tell him. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
I guess it's kind of relevant because it like kind of played into my reaction. So like they're telling me to move out the way, and I'm like, for one, that's rude as hell. Like, what the hell are you saying? Like, I don't know this person, and you tell me to move out the way. I'm like, at first I asked them to repeat themselves and like get out the way. I'm trying to get off, and I'm like, my mind doesn't comprehend because I'm like, what the hell are you saying? For one, like the bus is like in the middle of the street, like making turns, like we're nowhere near a stop. I'm like,
are you blocking the way?
It's a crowd. The bus is generally crowded. There are people around. I'm like maybe 4 feet from the entrance or the exit, I guess. But like this person sitting down and saying they're gonna get up and they want to get. So I'm like, I'm trying to kind of move, but I'm not gonna move behind the person. I'm like, okay. And they're like, no, get out the way, get behind me. I'm trying to stand where you are. I'm like, no. So then they get up and they're like, do I have to repeat myself? And they like stand up, like get off the seat and like are standing and like starting to get in my face. And I'm like, buddy, well, I don't say buddy because but I tell them that like the bus is still winding, and
it's very political of you to not want to gender them in that moment.
I'm not one to gender because I couldn't, but like
it was impossible to be gendered.
Yeah, but the idea was that like I was getting off at the next stop, and this person made it clear that they were getting off at the next stop. And I was like basically just my facial like expression was saying, what are you saying? Basically just wait, I'm getting off at the exact same stop. So
you can both get off and I don't have to move.
I was like, why are you giving me this hard time about this? So they stepped to me, and I had a brief moment. I was like, when they stepped to me, I was like, am I about to get into the fight with this person? Because that's how they approached me. They approached me like they wanted to fight. And I was like, all right, I was like, I can't deal with this right now. For one, I'm black. Two, I don't want to get kicked out mid-bus ride over something so stupid. So I I step back because and then the person tells me like, oh, because I'm trying to get a particular view. I'm trying to look at something. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Literally, by the time I step off, we're on the bus for maybe another 60 seconds before it stops. And so I step to the side, let them walk and stand in front of me. And then I'm watching this person. I'm like, I really want to see what was so important that you need to look. And they just they still looking inside the bus. I'm like, what's going on? I was like, luckily I had my mask on, so you couldn't see much. You couldn't see because I was talking a lot of shit under my breath. But I was like, I'm really curious what you're looking at. That's so interesting. And they were just staring inside the bus. And then they got off at the exact same stop I did. And I was like, I'm so glad we went through all this. I'm so glad you had to make a scene on this bus.
So did they seem happier once they got to the position that they were in?
I don't know. I was just watching. I was just keeping an eye on them because, like I said, one, I wanted to see what was so important that they had to be 2 feet closer than they already were to the window to see what was outside. I don't know what they had to see that was they couldn't wait a couple of minutes to get off the bus.
I think they were just trying to G-check you. They were trying to check your status.
I don't know.
They were trying to see.
Yeah.
First of all, you didn't have that haircut. You didn't have that haircut.
True.
Because if you had that haircut, they wouldn't have said shit to you.
And I did have my backpack on, so that probably.
You see the goddamn backpack. They thought you were a 17-year-old kid.
That probably
were like, this kid is coming from after school program. Okay, they need to move up my way. I don't want to see this after school special in front of me. I am trying to
get a prime spot on this bus, and this buddy over here with his backpack.
Right, your backpack was probably all up in their face.
Trapper keeper right in their lap.
It really wasn't. It really wasn't. But
your 5-star notebook was hanging out your backpack.
Something like that.
Loosely flowing in the wind.
But I had to keep an eye on it because I was like, I really didn't want to get in a fight. For one, like I said, because I couldn't gender them, I knew there was no way I win this situation. Because I was like, I could lay hands, but then I was like, if you're a really masculine woman, then there's
that's a good question.
There's no benefit to it. And then
no. Let's talk about this. At what point are you allowed to hit a woman? If she hits you first, and she's like, okay, so Mike, you guys are both short. I feel like I can never.
Whoa. What do you mean by short?
So I feel like, let's say, was this person taller than you, Kamal?
No, it was just about the same
height. Okay, maybe that's a little bit.
Did they have heels on?
I'm saying from an optics perspective, right? Yeah. If you are similar
optics,
if you're in a similar weight class, build, all of that, and a woman is being aggressive and in your face and she attacks you, right? You're not allowed to defend yourself? I don't know if in this world of equality, I think for me, if I'm fighting,
does guacamole include avocados?
As a 6'2" black man, 6'2", 225-pound black man, I can't fight someone who's 5'3", right? I can't fight a 5'3" woman. That would just be wrong.
It's not a fight if you take them out in one hit, right?
What's the cutoff, though?
No, it's not
5'7", 5'8"?
This is what I'm asking, right? If a UFC fighter, a female UFC fighter,
Ronda Rousey was on that bus.
If Ronda Rousey is on that bus telling you to move, right? I think it's a fair fight.
Yeah,
I think it's a fair fight.
I don't think it's a fair fight at all. I think Kamal's gonna get his shit kicked in.
Well, for one, I doubt Ronda Rousey is taking
the one that backs up.
For one, I doubt Ronda Rousey's the one taking the bus in the Bronx. But
you don't know, she's hard.
Unfortunately, the way the UFC is set up, we don't know the prominent black or person of color who is equivalent to Ronda Rousey. I apologize for that. Maybe I need to do more research. But for the sake of the argument, it's Ronda Rousey. Okay?
For the sake of the argument,
Ronda Rousey.
Come on, versus Ronda Rousey.
No, I think that is a thing that I noticed that people that
Kamal Backpack Williams
Women
versus Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rhombus Rousey. Square rectangle shape braids bus rider
in her extra long polo shirt.
Wait, what company was the polo? Did it have a little tag on it?
I wasn't that much attention was not paid by me.
I just don't understand the audacity of somebody other on a bus, any bus that I've ever been on, the audacity of somebody to say something other than, "Excuse me, sir, I would like to move that way. May I get past?"
Right, because
outside of that is insane.
I feel like she could have easily have just said, "I need to see something. Do you mind if I just like get where you are?" Like there would be no problem there.
Do I need to repeat myself? It
wasn't like that.
Like 2 times in my entire life where I needed to say, "Do I need to repeat myself?" And it was literally because somebody didn't hear me. It wasn't to make a point.
But yeah, it was a mess. I was just, and then it was raining. You know, it was just a whole lot.
And on top of everything, it was raining.
Yeah. So
not only was I mad, but I was wet. I am sorry, Kamal. Well, good thing that you won't have to take that bus, right? I mean,
no, I just have to take another one.
Like I just have to take a different number.
Not because I'm afraid, but because I probably
wait. So did you get off the bus like in your neighborhood? Is there a possibility that you'll run into this person again?
It's possible.
Damn, I can't wait for round 2.
Ding ding.
You need to come back. You need to come back at her with that haircut and just be like, "I need to get right where you're standing."
I need to see what's in front of
me.
Do
I need to repeat myself? I said, move the fuck out of the way.
Oh boy!
That whole argument, I don't really understand. Like, it's the size, the gender, it doesn't matter. Like, don't bother people on the bus. Like, it's simple.
And the thing was, like, I even after I told them that I'm like getting off at they made it clear that they were getting off at the stop, and I was like, so am I, and that didn't matter one iota. Like,
but that's because at that point they had gone too far. They had made too much of an ass out of themselves to even to backpedal. You got to commit once you get to that point, or throw hands. It's one of the other.
And that was the thing I was like geared up for the most. Like I was confused, and I was like prepared.
Wait,
what percentage of you?
I'm sorry. Come on, go ahead.
Wait, what's your word that you were confused about?
He put in a word there that I don't know.
I said prepared.
No, you said that was the reason I was yet up. What?
I was confused.
No. You said that geared up. I think you said geared up.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, geared.
I think he was like geared up.
Geared up, and I was just like a new like horse term.
No.
I just wanted to.
Okay, my question: what percentage of you wanted that fight? Because if I'm in that situation, I'm like 70% ready to fight, like wanting to.
Wow. Yeah, it was that far. It was like 75%.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it also helped that like if I was going to lean it, I kind of felt like if I hit like one strong blow would would settle it
again.
I just felt
we come full circle, Jack.
I felt like it needed one clean shot.
You thought you could take this person in one shot.
Yes. I think, but
if he concentrated all of his power into one,
if he unzipped the backpack,
I
have the
power. Take off the training weights. But no, it was. If I'm gonna be honest, part of me feels like they were emboldened,
because of how you
not only that, but because of my confusion. because like I think they were. This is just a theory. I think they're super aware of their the ambiguousness of their gender, and I think that enables them to be confrontational.
Right.
My guess is that that was a woman who presents very masculine
Mhm.
and thinks they can use that to intimidate others.
Right.
But
The
like
worst.
my thinking was that that was also a very masculine looking woman. So I was like, oh, you think I'm worried, but I'm not. I'm just ready for you to like make the wrong like motion and me to swing on you.
Right.
But I was like, please don't do that right there on the bus. Like, let me at least be outside so I can like quickly run away into the rain.
Run away, skate through the bushes. I just like I'm still just flabbergasted by this whole
Nah,
situation.
it felt like
Been on the bus, it's just like I try to avoid eye contact. Like I don't even really like, even if somebody has an issue with me, I'm just like I back up. Like by instinct. I
it
close my
felt
eyes and back up and put my hands in front of my face.
it, it felt like I was like slowly being ensnared in like a nigga moment from the Boondocks. I felt like I was slowly being entrapped in one where like where they bump into each other on the sidewalk, and but like I felt like I was that way because I was still like trapped like in the same space with them on the bus. So like I couldn't just be like fuck you, like whatever, and just walk away. I was stuck like just standing there on the bus. So I felt like I was like slowly being trapped into that. So I was grateful because like I didn't need that ignorance in my life. And
Nobody
like
ever does.
I could see the people like I could see the people around me be like, this is so stupid and so absurd. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, what the hell was this? But I'm
People,
still here.
man.
I'm still here. I'm not in jail, so I guess it worked
I
out.
just want to say they won though. They won.
They
No,
won.
they
It
didn't.
hurts
They
me.
didn't win.
On a like, on a like maturity, like go the high road when they go low. Yeah, sure, come on, one. But who gives a fuck about that? I'm talking about I'm talking about street cred. She
Oh
G checked you,
yeah,
son. She
yeah.
G checked you,
She
son.
got the
She
spot.
probably did.
Wanted
She
on the
owned you.
She
She owned
probably
you.
did.
Everyone on that bus was like, oh, he's soft. Like, she won.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
know where
That's fine.
you know where she was probably going.
To like
Well,
a
I don't know
homeless
where she
shelter.
was going, but nowhere as important as you are in life. So
That's appreciated.
it's almost honestly it would have been a dick move for you not to have let them get the spot that they wanted, because that's all they have in life.
Yeah, if I was in this imagine this person just goes onto buses and demands that people move
Yeah,
every single
that's their
day.
like personality.
just
And that's
for
how
the
they get their rocks
satisfaction.
off.
Yeah.
Do
That's
I
it.
need to repeat myself? Oh,
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I
Be
would have
like,
moved too.
how more baggy do I need to wear my clothes so I look more intimidating?
Like she belonged in a 2004 D4L Lean With It Rock With It music video.
That's exactly what it looked like. And like the extra long white tee.
Yeah,
Except it was
yeah.
just like a super big polo. Yeah.
let me.
Yeah.
I always say personally, I always say the amount of depression in your life is based upon your interactions with people on a public bus. I mean,
That's true.
the more it's a kind of like the graph. I'm trying to make it so like it
The
looks.
slope.
Yeah, the graph it goes up. The more depressed you are, the more depressing your life is. The more confrontational you are on the public bus. I keep saying
That's-
public bus. As if
That
it's
sounds about right.
public.
Mm.
Oh. Yeah, I've dealt with people like that driving. I'm just like, yeah, go ahead, get the fuck out of the way. The less that I have to see you, the better.
I had a question that I wanted to get to earlier, but I can't remember it. So I'm just going to talk about your apartment again, because you were saying that you got your couch, you got your bed. That's all put together. Does it look like an apartment now? Does it feel like, is the space coming together?
It's coming together. It still looks like
Like a crack house, like an
empty
abandoned crack
room.
house.
an idiot hoarder because I still have all my like packaging boxes from the furniture and everything. So,
Oh, you
That's
gotta
another one
cut
of those
that out.
questions in
Come
that
on.
group chat. I was like, what is
Yeah.
this guy talking about? Like, how long do you plan on keeping these
You
boxes?
keep all your shoe boxes
And,
too?
and
Jesus.
where are you going to put them? Up in the Black community, yes, we do keep our shoe boxes.
yeah, we do
I
keep
mean,
our
We,
shoe
we
boxes.
stack them
for,
up
like,
against the wall. Yeah. Your white is showing, Michael.
Listen,
I'm
I've
just
kept
saying,
a shoebox or two in my day.
that whole comment of like, do I keep the boxes or how long? Throw them away. Where are you gonna put them? Under your bed? Under
What are
the
you gonna
couch?
do
Like,
with a
Wait, where am I
box?
going to keep them? I've managed to keep them in there. It's
yeah,
just
but
the
there's
idea
no
that
reason.
there's no space I'm gonna have later.
You're
So yeah.
telling me that you're gonna put it back in there? Should you need to?
No, that's not the idea. Well, that
If
the
you have
idea
to
is
move
for-
again, you're gonna be like, oh, it's a good thing I saved those boxes from 3 years ago. I can put them all back in your.
Oh God, you guys are pain. I had no intentions of keeping them permanently. I was
I'm just gonna keep them.
my whole point was I was gonna ask you guys if I should like keep it until
the warranty.
no until
is up.
until like the rest of until we moved everything else in. But I was like,
No,
but the reason why I was asking is because it's like
you
crowding the
realize you could have
space.
built like another apartment out of cardboard.
Pretty much, yeah. I have those many cardboard boxes. I could like build me like a small
You could have
like
built
patio.
a raft with the styrofoam.
Nah, I could build me like a nice patio with some
You just say patio?
yeah.
I have a
Well, not
funny
well,
video.
not even patio. Like a nice balcony. That'll take some time though. Out of cardboard boxes. But yeah.
Have
so
you guys been watching anything recently? I'm gonna segue into something, but I just need to ask if you guys watch anything first.
watching anything like
Like anything interesting?
Uh,
TV shows, series, movies.
what did I just finish that I liked? I finished the anime that I really liked, or it was pretty good. Does that count?
What is it? Yes, tell me.
What's it called? The Promised Neverland. Have you guys heard of it?
Never
That
even heard
sounds
of
child molesting as hell.
it.
Actually,
I'm just kidding.
it kinda not the molesty part, but yes, it is. It is about children. Funny enough.
All right, let's get off that before you get canceled.
It's not-
I've been.
It's
We're gonna have a whole Jeffrey
it's about-
Epstein episode
It's
here.
about children and grooming and
Grooming.
Not helping your
Yes.
kids.
This is not going well.
Actually, I think it's way more tasteful than any like of the Jeffrey Epstein
Still
All
not
right,
helping.
next.
Now you're just using words. Now you're just using words to hurt yourself. Tasteful. I mean, come on.
Once you're comparing yourself to Jeffrey Epstein in any capacity,
No,
you lost.
because I mentioned those who actually have seen this show, you guys understand. You guys know what I'm talking about. I just don't
Once
want
you've
to.
seen the child molestation, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, okay. Only
But,
Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Clinton, and all the other people on that island have seen this anime that you're talking about.
Donald Trump.
That's not
Yeah.
true. I think it was regarded as one of the best of 2019, I believe. So it's
Yeah,
not just me who enjoyed it.
All
I'm
right.
sure.
So
I've been
that's-
watching, don't judge me too hard, I've been watching Girls. And it reminded me, I thought of it because of Kamal's moving. Have you guys watched Girls?
I regret it. I hate that show. I hated that show.
Oh,
Okay,
I
okay.
regret it.
Did you watch all of it? Like,
I hated. Yeah, I hated that I watched that whole thing. It was.
and you okay? So that's
Wait,
that's,
Lena Dunham, Driver.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
that she used to be like a big thing, a big deal.
Wow,
for sure.
You
Yeah.
know it's a big thing.
That's
That's
hey now,
terrible.
hey now.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
That was funny, but we're not allowed to laugh at that in 2020.
Hey, that's the birthplace of Mr. Adam Driver, right? So show
Yes.
some respect.
He's pretty
That's
good.
his big
performance
break.
is good.
Mr.
Um,
Weirdo.
So okay, let's talk about that real quick because I I kind of feel like I'm gonna end up where Kamal is now. Like, I love it, but I hate that I love it. Like, I think it's so different, and I haven't seen anything like that before. It's actually kind of gross in a sense, like everything that happens, but like I can't stop watching it.
For one, the one part about it is that if you really think about it, most of the characters are
trash human beings,
irredeemable and like
Yeah.
unlikable entirely.
Every single one of them is trash.
In what way?
In every way.
But they all hit like that's
There's
the best.
no ways in which they are.
That's probably I think that's probably the best, most appealing. Like, I didn't realize how until like much later, like the later seasons, how like trash and terrible they all were. But I think that's the most like interesting part, is that they all hit like these different facets of being, of like how you can be like terrible person without actually being like a criminal or like like
Yeah.
like they hit like all these different like all these different spaces of like terrible human interaction and personalities without like
He's
being
so
like,
correct.
How
so
you can get
correct.
away with jail time without actually committing a crime?
No, it's not like they're not like criminals who get away with it. They're like
terrible human beings.
Anything that if you're in any situation and there's a right way and a wrong way to do something, they do it the wrong way every single time.
Yeah.
They just make horrible decisions.
But the worst part about it is that like most of the time,
no real life repercussions.
No repercussions, and they also somehow seem to always view themselves as the victims of the circumstances.
And none of them they kind of critique each other in the sense of like, oh, like the two main characters, I guess you would say. So Lena Dunham's character, Hannah, and her best friend, what's her name?
Marty,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they both call each other like, oh, you're the bad best friend. Oh, you're the bad best friend. They're all horrible people. Like,
yeah. It's that the terrible and no self-awareness.
They continue to come back together. And I don't know if that's supposed to represent like fighting through your differences, or like you love each other so much that you are willing to. It's incredibly toxic.
Dysfunctionality.
Like every single relationship in that show is incredibly toxic. And I'm like, these people should not be friends.
Definition of toxic. Not only toxic among themselves, but almost all the interactions in their lives are all like toxic and damaged.
They all have blinders on. Yeah. They all cannot see outside of themselves. They don't care about any of their friends. And it's just like, they're just like overlapping each other and like who can be shittier at the same time.
Yeah. So, but my question though, like, is that like, does that hurt the show? Like maybe
no, it's incredible.
No, that's amazing. That's the engaging part. Like, I think
a lot of people are like that.
I don't know. It's
maybe a realistic depiction.
The thing that's kind of confusing and like captivating is that like I think the show is. Actually, that's the captivating part. I'm not sure if the show is well written, or I'm not sure in which way it's well written. I'm not sure if they're like, these characters are shitty in this way because I'm trying to create it that way, or I don't exactly understand that. I don't see it myself that I'm writing shitty characters. Like, these people are incredibly shitty. Mm-hmm. But like the thoroughness in like the different ways that they're shitty, and their personalities are like flushed out, but in the worst ways.
Yes. Like, and I'm in the same spot, but I want to give Lena Dunham a little more credit. Like, I'm not going to assume that this person who was able to, although there's like saying that like her family got her to the position where she is because she came from money or something like that. Like, I'm not buying into any of that. I think that she's talented. I think that she was able to write and tell a story that would make this reaction happen. Like, I don't think that this is happening. You can't make that mistake for 6 seasons. Like that, I don't think that could be a thing. I don't think anyone could be bad, like unintentionally bad at something, and have that level of success. I don't want to take that credit away from
I don't know. They
made Jeopardy.
What?
I'm just kidding. Jeopardy is great.
Jeopardy's great.
Yeah. Much
But
love
I
to
think-
Alex Trebek. But
Yeah, he hope he recovers from his cancer. He has cancer. No, I think he does. Or is that the Wheel of Fortune guy?
yeah, no, that's Alex Trebek. He has like
Yeah, it's cancer.
he's recovering from like prostate cancer. something
What
like
is?
that.
Love that guy.
No. I mean, what is prostate cancer?
Right. Yes. But yeah, so like that's where I am with the show. Like, it's incredible that she's able to create this world. But like, a part of me is like, okay, partially because she says that she's, you know, a feminist and she believes in like all these kind of like forward movement or forward thinking ideas. But she kind of, and maybe this is just like separating the person from their art or whatever, right? But like a lot of the things that I feel like happen in the show don't necessarily align with her personal beliefs.
Yes.
What do
Like
you-
that's
what
the
do you
thing.
say?
I was thinking about that because she talks about her feminism, and like feminism is kind of discussing it, but it's like forcing it's like really surface level.
Right. It's like
Even that discussion is super shitty, and like
it feels like whenever feminism is mentioned in it, and this is like coming from a podcast with two straight black men and this white male, like
we're human beings.
we're not
in
the
society.
faces. We're not the faces of feminism, but like for me, like when I hear that type of talk from like a person like outside of her show, I would think that like she would maybe try to show that in a maybe more positive light, or not use it in such a flimsy way. Like whenever feminism is brought up, it's like, oh yeah, like you had sex with 3 dudes, it's feminist, like blah blah. But like, and that's a part of it, like sexual liberation and women's rights to do however they want with their body. But like, it's always just brought up in passing to like bring up something that doesn't really matter. And I'm just like, that's the part of it that gets me confused. Like, is this the message that you're trying to put across, or is it art and it's just supposed to be like, witty? I don't know. And that's where I'm like kind of confused.
It's just like a tagline. It's just like something you throw into like just as a descriptor. It's like, oh, I'm a feminist, or like throw into conversation like blah blah blah, something feminism.
I feel like it's just one of those shows too. Like it's what is it really about? Like, can you say like what it's about? Three
It's
friends
about
or whatever
or-
in New York City.
Tiny trash people that
What is
somehow work in a coffee shop, but like afford rent in Brooklyn. How does that work?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
again. It's like it might.
No,
it
but
might-
but that's the thing though. Not all of them work in like a coffee shop. I think 1 or 2 of them did. One's a student. One's like
No. By season, I'm on season 3 right now, and
oh,
both
okay.
Marnie and Hannah are both working at Grumpy's.
Oh, okay. But Hannah like also writes on the side or whatever, or
Yes,
she's like
but she was living
aspiring
there
writer.
beforehand. She was living there beforehand, so I don't know
Okay.
how she's making rent.
But that's always something that like I don't know. I think it's just too much. Maybe that's too complicated for.
I mean, yeah,
'cause, like,
I'm not going to base
a-
my criticism of the show on whether or not they are paying, the proper New York City rent. Like, but I'm just saying that bothers.
But like
You need
a
to
lot of
really
shows.
get the tax numbers right.
But a lot of shows don't pay attention to that. Like they don't pay attention to like how their professions or their actual like their careers match with their settings.
Right.
Like that's
don't
often a
agree.
detail that can be forgotten. It's like how
I don't 100% agree with that. I mean, if you look at a show like Broad City, like I feel like there's a lot of tropes in that of like, trying to make it in New York City, you have zero money, you're living with a rich girl whose boyfriend stays over your apartment all the time.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, like I've had that thought too, like of like how this is not realistic whatsoever. Like there's no way that you are doing right now what you are on the show and at the same time contributing $19.50 a month for rent with 3 other roommates.
I'm trying to think I'm trying to remember because you said season 3 because like I feel like at separate points they have different. At separate points they like all have like their own apartments, right? I think.
So where
Also,
I am right now, Marnie has her own place. She like just moved in.
but she has money. She comes from money or whatever. Still.
Yeah, but well, at least in the show, it seems like she's not getting money from her mom, but maybe she is. Although Hannah does say that all her friends get money from the parents, so she probably is. But she's working at the coffee shop because she lost the art curator job and she's trying to get her singing career. But she has her own place. Shoshana has her place where Jessa and Marnie had previously lived, and then Hannah is living with Adam in the apartment that she's always been in. But Adam uses the money from his grandmother to pay half the rent, which is $800 a month. So I'm assuming Hannah comes up with the other, whatever the balance. I don't know what the rent is for that place, but
$3,000. No,
I mean, they're in Brooklyn. I think if it was $1,600 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment with like a pretty sizable living room and kitchen space, that seems about right. $1,600. No, actually, probably higher. Probably like $1,800.
I was gonna say that sounds
I guess
like
you can. Yeah,
but it was also 2012, so it wouldn't have been. We don't need to get into the real estate.
Yeah.
Can I just? Well, 30%, 34% on the current market. I mean, do you really want to commit to those numbers? I mean.
You gotta adjust for inflation.
Can I just say that and you're talking about shows that you're watching. I'm not watching this show now, and I'm completely late to it. But it, it's just one of these shows that I kind of like just started watching during coronavirus. And you mentioned Lena Dunham show. She was on it at one point. I don't know if you guys have seen it. This is again completely white of me. But it's called Andy on the Street.
It's like he hosts a show, but he's like on the street.
Yeah, like
I've seen clips.
It's honestly like I've laughed so hard at that show. I don't think I've really laughed at television as hard as I have at that show. And Lena Dunham is on it at one point, and she's just like milking a cow, or like she's like competing with this other woman on the street. And like the loser has to milk a cow, and it's just like it's hysterical. Oh my god! And he's just like, "I'm here with Lena Dunham today," and she's just like, yeah, I'm great." Like, so that's that. If you could see that, just that episode is hilarious to me.
What's it called?
It's called Andy on the Street.
Andy on the Street.
He's just one of these other guys that became.
He's like a comedian.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He got a little interesting.
Am I thinking the same one? He like goes up to people on the street with a microphone and like
asks them like a random question.
But
that's his name, Andy?
Yeah, it's Andy something probably. Oh my god, it just got really dark outside.
He was in Lion King. He was starting to rain.
He was in like Parks and Rec, right?
He had like a spot on it, yeah. No, but I just like there was I don't know if my sound is gonna mess up because of this wind, but
sounds like you're on the beach.
Yeah, it's crazy windy all of a sudden. There's just hilarious part also where he runs up to people on the street and he like asks like if something is or like a Tyler Perry movie, and he's just carrying like important artwork, and if they get it wrong, he just smashes them.
Am I looking at the same
and he's just
thing?
like, but was this from Medea's Christmas or not? And the person like says the wrong answer. He just smashes a vase.
Wait,
it's like slapstick humor.
Wait, do you mean Billy on the Street?
Oh, yes, Billy on the Street. Yes.
Okay. I was like, that sounded so. I was like,
Billy Eichner. Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner. Yeah. I'm sorry.
He was
Billy
on.
Eichner, if you ever see this, I apologize. I like.
He was on that show that got canceled that we liked. What was it? Grown Up.
Friends from College.
Friends from College. Why is it Grown Up?
That show is amazing. That show was so funny. I want to say that show maybe, and it's really because Keegan-Michael Key's character.
Oh yeah,
that show made me belly laugh. And I don't laugh at anything like that, like comedy wise. I laugh at like real humans and like stand up comedy, like movies and and TV shows like that are comedy based do not make me laugh. That
Yeah.
show was so funny to me.
I enjoyed that show. I like that cast and everything. I was disappointed that show. I feel like oddly enough, that show had Netflix has a like late '90s, early 2000s Disney Channel problem.
What?
Even
What
90s,
does
hold
that
on.
mean?
Let me
Okay,
think about
what
that.
I'm saying is because Disney Channel for a while back in the day had this, what was it? It was like
Had a lineup of just absolute bangers, and then they fell
they had
off
a line
super
of
hard.
bangers, but not
Bangers.
not only that, but they had like a 60 like something episode like rule or something like that, where like quite a few like shows when we were growing up, like
Wait, why do you look like you're in a scary story right now?
I just turned my flashlight on. Sorry.
it's all
I'm
right.
preparing for the worst over here. It's like
You were-
a tornado
You
outside.
look like you were on the set of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Another
You
good
have
show from
60
our
seconds alone.
another good show from my childhood. But yeah, like Disney Channel used to have like this thing where they would like they would cancel shows like after like their 68th episode or something, like maybe it's like 85, one of those numbers, some random
strange.
number, where they would like, it just seemed like the shows would end after a set number. And I just feel like that's something that Netflix, like I feel like the shows, like a bunch of shows that I've liked have gotten canceled like before their run was over. And what feels weird that like some shows got to either get to finish themselves um or like were brought back even though they were like notably bad, or I don't know.
I definitely think like I think it's all money based, right? Because like we got a Us season 2, and we'll probably get a Us season 3, even though that series is trash. We're gonna get it back until people stop watching it, right? But people probably
What
won't
season 2?
stop. Us. Have you seen Us?
It was hooked. I got hooked a little bit, but yeah, I agree. It's trash.
Yeah, everyone gets hooked, but like it's like we love to watch trash. It's like it's
Yeah.
not because it's
Like, I
it's not
watched
because it's good quality television, right? Yeah. But like Us season 3, I'm sure is gonna get greenlit. But like a show that was like witty and like smart, or any of those like good Netflix shows that get canceled, and we see this all the time. It's because like it's either not popular enough, or maybe it's too expensive to justify the cost or whatever. But like that's what happens. I don't know about the Disney stuff, but I feel like that's what's happening with Netflix.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that platform does a poor job of advertising new material nowadays. I feel like there's just so much content on there that like
That's
goes
what I think
unknown.
it is. Yes.
Like I feel like during I would say the glory days of Netflix, like you knew where all the shows were because it wasn't that many. Now there's just like,
Wow. You also
Flooding.
got one at a time with the CDs.
after that, I would say like the
Literally, it was only one show.
the like the early, like I would say like that period between like the early House
Back in
of
the
Cards
days where-
days.
right, yeah, where like they had one big show going at a time.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's better. It's just showing, I guess, the growth of it, that it has a platform that can support it. Although it seems that like some shows get the support. I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out how to watch because with sports coming back.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Trying to watch. Well, yeah. Apparently the first games of baseball are supposed to be the end of this month, and I know like hockey, for example, is coming back in August or supposedly coming back. So I'm trying to figure out how to watch baseball at the very least. And I'm on the internet like searching like, okay, which team how do I watch the Yankees without the cable? Just a nightmare. Just
You gotta get a
waiting through.
package now.
Nah, you gotta get. They have it on Hulu. Yankees are on Yes, so like they have it on Hulu Live, and Hulu Live's like $55 a month, which it's like okay, I might as well just get the fucking cable. Like that's why I don't have it.
You just go to a bar.
I don't know, but I feel like for one thing, I feel like sports, especially like these at least baseball, I feel like there's no point. Like I feel like it's all tainted and stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna watch. Like I'm not gonna feel accomplished seeing like the Yankees win a 75 game season. Like that's BS.
Why is the baseball season so long? Like who asked for 180 games of baseball?
Well, it's 62, 162. But
whatever.
But it's
well, I was like, well, excuse me.
That's just the way it's been. That's just the way it's been. I don't know.
It's so obnoxious that it's 182. I'm sticking with.
But I understand though, because like I feel like baseball is is a sport where like you need like the time to like develop it.
Yeah.
Like,
do you?
Especially just the way it's structured, because like pitching, you don't pitch every day. So like if I'm a pitcher, I can only pitch every fourth or fifth game.
So why? Okay, this is my big issue with baseball. Why are baseball players allowed to be so bad at their jobs? Imagine LeBron shot 30%, or could only play every
different
week,
skill.
Once a week.
Different
skill. Hit it. Well, for one thing, hitting
so
baseball is way harder than
be better
shooting basketballs. If we're being
fair. So at what point? So why is 30?
Well, and it also does it does probably exponential damage to your.
Why is that the best? And why is that the benchmark?
Why the 160?
No, 300. Like batting 300. Like that's 30%.
That's just the human. 400 is the 300 is like
average.
It's really good.
Yeah.
300 plus is really good. That's just the way it is. Because, like, I mean, it's hard to hit a baseball consistently when you have someone actively trying to throw it past you at speeds nearing triple digits, with different speeds, different cuts, and different trajectories and all that. Yeah,
I think baseball is trash.
I enjoy it. I just think this season's like, I think it's gonna.
Well, and it's also the idea that, like, you know, nobody, if nobody throws, if nobody can hit better than 300, then 300 is going to be the best. Like, you know what I mean? And then a very few amount hit close to 400.
Yeah.
I feel like if anything, this should be the most potent baseball ever. You've got a shortened season, 75 games or something like that. Shouldn't it just be like the best pitchers playing, the best hitters hitting? You're not tired because you're paying less games.
No.
Corona-y.
You still can't. The best pitchers pitching still requires days of rest.
Language, come on, pitchers, come on.
Pitchers,
yeah, seriously, this is a public radio show.
Pitchers still need like days of rest, so you still can't pitch every day. Like pitching, like professional like pitchers, like that's not a natural act, like a human act. Like that's something. Like,
you're telling me throwing a ball into a hoop
unnaturally
in the air is natural?
But obviously shooting is not something that can that fundamentally challenges like the structures of your body.
No, I agree. That's, you know, it's just innate.
I don't know enough about baseball for that to make sense, because like I throw a ball.
That is clear, sir.
You don't. One thing, you don't throw as hard or as fast as professionals do, and you don't do it as regularly,
as frequently. Yeah.
I mean, CC Sabathia dislocated his arm and kept on pitching. I mean, come on.
Kobe Bryant played with like a broken kneecap or something.
And listen, that's why he was Kobe Bryant.
And put 60 on somebody's head.
I dislocated my arm and I left the ice and cried like a little baby. I was not playing any sports. It still haven't to this day. So,
but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because like I still think none of these sports have like comprehended, because we're still in this wave one thing. I still don't think they've comprehended how it's going to look, them actually trying to do this with all the players together, because like all these sports are naming that they have players testing positive, so it's like
and there's no fans.
Yeah, that's a part of it too. Watching it on TV when like it's all silent and you just hearing announcers is gonna be weird.
I don't think that's gonna be that bad. I could be wrong. I'm
not
like, the fan engagement is amazing. Like,
if it'll affect them, it'll affect us. Like, I'm sure the players will feel weird about it.
I mean, they could inject a fan like sound bite, like
that's
just
weird though.
Play a track.
That's weird though.
Yay!
That's weird.
I mean, think about how awkward the kiss cam is gonna be. And look at that, he came from Derby Road.
They'll just start showing it on Skype. They'll just have Skype or Zoom calls of people
have
like
fans Skype in. That would be amazing.
That would be whack. But I want to get to something because we mentioned Netflix and stuff. I shared this with you guys. What was it, last week? About the voice actor. What would you call it? I
have no idea what you're talking about.
Not the cancer. The voice actor guild.
Voice actor guild.
Guilty, like guilt.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Basically, all right. So long story short, like quite a few notable.
The video that you sent us. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Quite a few notable white voice actors across.
Stepping down from voicing people of color.
Yeah, like Cleveland in the Family Guy show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going on TV and Netflix. I said Netflix because it stuck out in my head because the girl Jenny Slate, who voiced Missy from Big Mouth, she stepped down from her role.
Yes.
From voicing the character, and they also announced a bunch of other things like The Simpsons, no longer having people of color voiced by white voice actors. Who else did it? The Cleveland show, I guess Family Guy also.
Yeah, same guy.
Said they were gonna try and match them now. A bunch of white voice actors. I think like Alison Brie. She's like apologized for voicing characters for now. And so I sent you guys a video that this comedian, I think his name was Andrew Schultz, was it? He kind of gave right. he gave his hot take on it, and like I for a large part like agreed with the sentiments he was making, the points he was making. I was curious what your guys' reaction to it was because I don't think you actually commented in our chat.
I think this is
ignored you.
Like calling us out. I don't think you actually commented on the video I sent you guys. What did you think, you jerks?
We completely ignored you in the group chat. I did watch the video though. I mean, I thought it was accurate, especially the sentiment about how like I think he said this. Either he said this or someone else that I saw on the internet said this, but like how basically white people are doing everything but giving justice to black people, like just doing anything that they can to kind of make it seem better, but that's not actually what we're asking for. Particularly the actor you mentioned, I'm not sure of her name, but she's like a Jewish actress who was voicing a half Jewish, half Jewish, half black character in the show. And she was like apologizing for playing this person. And like, for me, that's like a little bit extreme. I could even see a white guy who plays a black guy, or a white guy who voices an Indian man. Like I could maybe see that argument. But like this whole situation where a Jewish person can't play another Jewish person just because she's not black. Like I think that's where we're like kind of pulling hairs. And I understand why people are doing it. No one wants to be wrong. Everyone kind of wants to be on the right side of history. But like I'm not.
Part of it was that the idea that, like you said, it's a lot of performative stuff, a lot of like surface level instead of fundamental things.
Mm-hmm.
Like because the voice acting is just performing based on the stories and words produced by other people.
Yeah.
So something more important would be that this half Jewish, half African American girl was portrayed skillfully by an actor who had, or by a team who had a wealth of experience to make her a well fleshed out character, and is not just and a diverse perspective in writing her, and not just the opinion of white guys who what their thoughts of what half Jewish, half black girl would be. Like that would be things that would be more fundamental change that would need to be addressed. But like just saying, oh, black people.
I would also add though, like, and I'm not in this world, so I don't know what the numbers are like, right? But let's say it's a world where, you know, we already know there's an issue with representation of people of color within all forms of media, right? Yeah. But let's say that if there's like a strong percentage of people that are people of color being voiced by non-people of color, I would say that there's more of like a work industry issue there where like they're not hiring or not finding or not recruiting enough people of color to be in that space. But that's not to say that those people have to voice people of color. Like the whole point is that your voice is, you know, being used in an art form to portray multiple different things. I think if that was the issue, like if this was separated from the Black Lives Matter movement and you were like, we need there to be influx of voice actors who are people of color because this industry is missing that, I could get behind that. But when you're bringing it in as like, oh, stop killing black people, and you're like, oh, well, how about voice actors that are white stop playing, you know, people of color? then I'm like, all right, you're missing the point.
You're like, not helpful.
And I guess it would be easier if we knew like the numbers. It's not clear, but like that's the thing though. Like the idea, and it goes back to this idea of like what it means to act, and then like what's appropriate, what's the right representation. Is it just more? And like when is more like fulfilled the like necessary amount that it's appropriate?
Yeah.
Because like, and then it's once again at this moment it's only one. It seems to be only whites not playing non-whites.
Right, because no one has an issue with a black person playing like
a Chinese person.
Yeah. But we have an issue with like Tilda Swinton playing an Asian man. So like, where do you draw the line?
Well, it wasn't that she was playing. It was that they was it like retconned the character. The character she was playing is like originally, I think, what's the word?
I thought it was a monk.
Yeah, I'm just say Asian. He was is an Asian monk, and they changed it to make the character Celtic. So they instead of casting.
Yeah, but why?
Well, I think, but the idea.
Why?
So like,
who asked for that?
I think the argument was to like avoid the stereotyping. But then you go in this battle of like the portrayals of the characters versus this idea of stereotyping. So like they did this with the Mandarin in Iron Man, where they had Ben Kingsley playing the Mandarin,
playing an Indian man.
Well, playing like he's supposed to. Well, the character is usually like of Asian descent. Also, he's like an Asian, like I don't know, mystical warlord or something like that. And so, but they didn't want to do that. I guess the argument was, the idea was like, we don't want to be in the stereotypes of like all Asians being these mystical monks, magical monks. Okay. So they went the route of changing the character's origin and making him some white actor who was playing the role. And they did. So is that better?
No.
But I feel like it's funny enough because like I find it interesting because I feel like the world we're in right now, they would have been punished no matter what.
Either way, yeah.
So I think honestly they probably would have been better off just keeping the characters as they are and just giving the actors who an opportunity to portray them as opposed to like whitewashing them, which is what they did. Because you're gonna be criticized anyway. Yeah, like yes, some of these characters are, I guess you would say, stereotypical. These characters are, some of them are 50 to 80 years old. So if you're bringing them to the modern age into the big screen,
I mean, I get that. I get wanting to like maybe refresh some of the original thoughts because maybe those original thoughts had bad intent, or maybe they just weren't thinking critically about how those things would come across.
Yeah, the portrayals of race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The thing that I've been seeing, not to change topic. I know it's gonna sound a little unpopular, but yeah, like I appreciate what those people are trying to get across, but like like you said, it's just not relevant to like what Black people are asking for. So like I can't really take it too seriously. But the thing that I've been seeing lately was about one of the like magazine producers or something like that. I think her first name is Anna. I don't really know what her last name is, but
Anna
basically,
Wintour?
Anna, maybe it was Anna Wintour. I don't think so. I think it was somebody else. Basically, how they portray Black people on like magazine covers, for example, like Vogue, and how they
I'm pretty
people
sure Anna Wintour is the chief editor of Vogue. Not to say that's
maybe
definitely what we're talking about, but it's
no,
likely.
maybe it's her. Yeah, maybe I don't remember the name. I just have to look it up. But basically, like how they are unable and unskilled um, at lighting Black people correctly.
Absolutely, yes. That's a
Um,
huge thing in
on
like
cover.
photography and movies.
Yeah,
They often just shoot Black people as they would white people, but like light reflects on Black skin completely differently.
yeah,
Uh, and it's
yeah.
like
The
a
example
whole.
I saw was with Simone Biles and how they like one I was reading the comments and like they were like she looks like dusty and old and
Yes,
like
yes.
mean and so that to me was just like this is like that's a again that's kind of like a minor thing when it comes to this whole like Black Lives Matter trying to get police to stop killing people like that's not as immediate but again like it still just plays into the whole thing of like treating Black people equally like as human beings and realizing that you can't if you don't know how to light a person the correct way like you put them on a giant magazine like you look like a total douche. So
No, I think it's all like branches from the same
yeah,
trunk. That like these are all like
they're microaggressions.
not microaggression, but they're all like up like smaller symptoms or varying symptoms of like just the larger fundamental thing. It's like this fundamental um dehumanization of Black people
Yeah, they're
in
not equal.
in this country, and just these are just the various the spectrum of ways that this is applied, and we notice things. So like because I don't know because Black people aren't in these fields because the interest in them because the influence isn't there because the focus isn't on portraying um, images of Black people the same way that they're portraying white people. There's not that focus on properly lighting them, properly portraying them. Just like these are all different like areas.
That are affected.
A
Yeah,
lot of times it would be quickly resolved if we just had a Black person in the room. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. Like, if there was someone in the room that was like, hey, she
but
looks dusty. Like,
that's it.
I just like that. I like that
That's it.
adjective.
That's the thing though. It's funny because it's like I think yeah, I agree that like more diversity and just more a presence of like differing ideas and opinions would largely go a big way in that. Actually, I'm not gonna even. I'm just leave it at that. I agree.
all right.
Um,
Let's end on that because
yeah.
we're running a little long now. So definitely great catching up with you guys.
Yeah, same here.
So,
Keep it real. Keep getting those haircuts.
I actually feel like I hadn't felt pressure until now, until this episode.
Yeah, I mean now
Paul's haircut, he's intimidated me.
Now you just brought it to another level. Like
what kind
I
of
have to. I gotta.
Why
come
did you have to
harder
be
next
that
episode.
guy?
I might be shirtless next episode. Like I gotta do something. I gotta.
I mean, if you're shirtless, like what? How am I supposed to catch up?
All right. Later.
So,
See y'all next week.
All right, take care.